Well, this inquiry is clearly a make-or-break moment for Boris Johnson's political career, so no surprise the committee room was pretty packed, including with Boris Johnson's lawyers. You can see him surrounded by a legal team, and when the going got tough, they seemed to intervene a little bit. We could see notes being passed from lawyer to lawyer and to the lawyer sitting next to Boris Johnson, as well as him taking some advice and conversations here with Lord Panic to the left here, behind the former Prime Minister. Now, we are used to a jokey, pretty bullish Boris Johnson, but that politician was nowhere to be seen today. He was on pretty serious form because this is a serious situation.
Hand on heart that I did not lie to the House. When those statements were made, they were made in good faith.
Now, the committee have loads, reams, pages of written evidence, but of course this was a live TV event, a visual event, so they relied pretty heavily on photographs, including this one, a leaving party in Downing Street. You can see at the front to the right, bottles of alcohol. One of the questioners, the SNP's Alan Dorrans, a former detective constable, focused on that issue of why there was alcohol at this event.
Would you say that that is strictly necessary for a work event?
It's customary to say farewell to people in this country with a toast. I didn't see any sign of drunkenness or excess.
Well, the former Prime Minister's defence seemed to be that the rules and guidance were, to an extent, up for interpretation, and he said the context of COVID, of the pandemic, was also significant. It really, though, got tense and testy when members of the committee asked Mr Johnson about his claims to Parliament that he had received repeated reassurances that rules and guidance were adhered to.
Some might see your reliance on the purported assurances you received as, and forgive me, as a deflection mechanism.
I've tried to describe what I felt about these events as they were happening. Nobody raised with me or had any concern before I stood up on December the 1st.
You didn't ask.
So who do you believe? The committee claim they have not made their minds up yet, but I'd suggest the tone of scepticism we heard from some members of that committee suggests they're not entirely convinced by Boris Johnson's case, by his defence. We'll find out their judgment in the coming months.